Have you ever been called proud? And when someone called you proud, you felt that sting of really me proud? And because of that, you recoil into your shell and attempt some form of false humility and trying to just be this person pretending to be humble and then stifle all your creativity and God given talents. Today, we are going to be discussing what are some scriptural principles that can be adopted to be genuinely humble, to be able to walk in a way that is acceptable and pleasing in the sight of God. Because the scripture says that God giveth grace to the humble, but God resists the proud. If God resists the proud, how can we actually be humble so that we will not be resisted by God? Jesus gave us a model of servant leadership. He said the greatest among you will be the servant of all. That is, in Christianity, the principle of greatness isn't just in how financially prosperous we are or how we are highly placed in the hierarchy of society. In the faith, in Christianity, the principle of greatness is in service. And First Corinthians chapter 4 tells us this. He says, let a man so account of us as of the ministers of Christ and of stewards of the mysteries of God. So he's saying they are apostles. In today's context, we will consider them like senior pastor, founding pastor. They were apostles. But he's saying that let others account them as just servants, stewards of the mysteries of God. When we read this, we think of, oh, it's a noble thing. No, when you are looking at servants in those days, in the Greco-Roman Empire, these are the rejects. These are the people that are sent on errands. He did not say, let a man so account of us as the emperor. He did not say, let a man so account of us as the prince. Let a man so account of us as the king. He said, let a man so account of us as the servants. He knew that the King of Kings is only Christ. There cannot be two kings, but that they are humbly servants of Christ. He says, moreover, it is required in steward that a man be found faithful. Here we see the first principle of true humility. True humility is in service, is in looking for opportunities to serve other people. True humility is not just making a name for yourself. True humility is in you looking for ways and avenue to be a blessing to other people around you, to be able to shine the light of Christ to people around you. This service we are talking about is not for selfish interest. It is not for what is in it for me. It is based off of seeking the good of the whole in honor of God. The second principle that is revealed to us here is that true humility seeks its judgment not based off other people's opinions. Because you would say, man, if you're telling me true humility is about service, does that mean I become a doormat for other people to just take advantage of and deal with or do whatever they like, whatever they want with? No, it is not you becoming a doormat, because in the real sense of it, you're not serving the people or doing them any good when you allow them to be disrespectful to you. When you allow them to, for example, take advantage of you. The Lord tells us about the shrewd servant and how that we should be wise as serpent but gentle as dove. So it doesn't mean as Christians we should be gullible. It doesn't mean as Christians we should be foolish. It doesn't mean as Christians we should make foolish investment and get all our accounts swindled by fraudsters. It doesn't mean when people come and they make requests that you don't have the capacity or the resources, you say, yeah, because I want to be humble. And then you go and you say you are going out of your way, but then you are hurting yourself in the process, but really not for the name of Christ, not for the glory of God. You're basically doing it because you want the people's acknowledgement. You want the people's credit. You want the people praising you. You want the people saying, oh my God, this person is so selfless. This person is so gracious. And then he says, let a man account of us as servants of God, but that our judgment isn't coming from man. Our judgment isn't coming from other people's assessment of I am humble or I am proud. Because guess what? People will call you proud when whatever decisions you are making isn't in full alignment with their expectation of you. Or if, for example, you are aspiring for God's plan for your life and something higher than they currently have within their scope of limitation, and you're aspiring for something greater, they're going to call you proud. For example, if you're raised in a poor neighborhood or poor family and you're aspiring, say you want to go to college, or you're aspiring to be a business person, or you're aspiring for something greater than those people currently think is possible, they're going to call you proud. They're going to say you want to be better than everybody. You think you're better than everybody. You think you are wiser than everybody. Those kind of people, they want you to go contrary to God's plan for your life. Those kind of people, they want you to do things that are contrary to God's vision for you so that you can stay within the confines they've put for you. But that you obeying that is not humility. You choosing to go in that realm of, okay, what do you people want me to do? To just stay in the hood, doing drugs with you all, doing things contrary to what God says, or somebody around you, they are sinful, they're your friends, maybe you've heard the gospel, you want to follow Jesus Christ, and they're like, now you're not doing like you used to do. You have changed. You are now proud. Does that mean that you are truly proud if you're choosing to follow Christ instead of following the word? Absolutely not. So the first is servants, being servants, but servant to who? Servant of Christ. And that puts us in a posture of service to humanity, because you cannot say, I love Christ, I love the maker, I love God, the creator of the world, but I hate his created creature. No, that cannot work together. So if we are truly servants, we are serving God, and then we have this posture in our heart that we want to be able to help and serve his purposes in creation. This makes us understand that our judgment and our evaluation of faithfulness or fidelity, of the fact that you are doing a great work or not, comes from the Lord himself. Who you are faithful to, who you're serving. Remember, we are servants of Christ. And as we are serving him humbly and in holiness and in humility, is going to be the one that will faithfully reward us. For example, in the Old Testament, Moses was the leader of the children of Israel. Some people feel like, oh, if I'm a servant, then I cannot be a leader. No, servant leadership is a posture of the heart that puts God as reverent. You reverence God and then also appreciate human being whom God died for, whom Jesus died for on the cross, and says, I'm going to serve, I'm going to help, I'm going to assist so that God's plan and purpose for creation will be able to come to pass. That's why your perspective is towards the welfare of others. It's towards that they may be doing well, that everyone around you might be doing well. But then, does that mean you can also help everybody? No, God has sent you to the people he has sent you to, but not everybody will receive you. And that's why Jesus even said, if you go, when they were going 2 by 2, if you go and the people don't open their door to you or bid you welcome, you dust your feet and go to another place. You will not say, by force, by fire, I am here to serve you and you must receive what I've got. No, you go to the next place. So that gives us a posture, a framework, that our judgment is not of man, it is of God. He's the one that judges our actions, and is the one that will reward even the motives of our heart at the Bema seat of Christ. Another principle that is critical for us to note in verse 6 of 1 Corinthians chapter 4, it says, "And these things, brethren, I have in a figure transferred to myself and to Apollos for your sake, that you might learn in us not to think of men above that which is written, that no one of you be puffed up for one against another." One thing that many people struggle with is comparing themselves with other people. There is Paul, there is Apollos, there is Peter. We have been gifted differently. My gift is different from another person's gift. I will be doing myself a disservice to keep comparing myself with someone else. Somebody might be skilled in communication more than me. Someone might be skilled in administration more than me. But I have my own gifts. I have the talents, the different spiritual gift, physical talent, physical skills, even learning style, abilities that God has given me that is uniquely mine. And it is for me to be able to say, how do I maximize that which God has given to me? Instead of comparing myself and being fixated on other people and looking at how they are better than me, how they have this better than me. No, that posture will not help anybody to be able to grow, to be able to become what God will want them to be. But the posture God wants us to have is not that of looking down on other people. It's not that of comparing yourself with other people. It's a posture of looking up to serve God faithfully, having a posture of looking up to serve God faithfully with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, in truth and in spirit. That is the posture that the Lord will want us to have. He said, "For who maketh thee to differ from one another?" God is the creator of all. Naked we all came to the world, naked we will return. Who makes you differ from another person? Who makes you different? Are we different in terms of gender, race, perspective, our culture, life experiences? Yes, we are different, but in the big scheme of things, we are all God's creation. We might have diversities of gifts, we might have diversities of calling, we might have diversities of God's grace upon our life, but technically, it doesn't make any of it superior to the other. It doesn't make the pastor superior to the teacher. It doesn't make the evangelist superior to the bishop or to the prophet or to the apostle. So who makes you differ from another? And what hast thou that thou hast not received? And this posture will really help you and really help me, that our heart posture should be that there is nothing that I have that I did not receive. There is nothing we have in this world that you did not receive. If you were born to privilege, you were born to a rich home, that's a gift. You didn't choose that this is the home I was going to be born in. If you're born in a developed country as opposed to being in a third world country, you didn't choose that. You have citizenship, American citizenship, British citizenship. You didn't choose that, especially those that were born there. Oh, you might say, well, I am so smart. That intellectual prowess and capacity, I'm saying, it's not just because you studied more than other people. There were some other people that studied harder than you, but they didn't get it. They didn't understand it. And the exam comes, you probably even did the little you could, and you come out in flying colors, and sometimes you are claiming all the credit. Yeah, it's because of my hard work. No, sir. Yes, hard work is important. You do your own part, you do that. But then it says there is nothing that you have that you did not receive. That posture of the heart makes you understand that when we come into the world, we all came with nothing and we will return with nothing. But then everything we have in between the birth and the death is all gifts. You worked hard, you read, but then if, for example, your hard work isn't rewarded in the sense that you worked hard in school, maybe you are being passed on for opportunities, you might not be where you are today. Maybe, for example, if you were born in a disadvantaged home, you might not be where you are today. Maybe if you were born with some disabilities, you may not be where you are today. Do I mean that those born with disabilities are limited in accomplishing God's plan and purpose for their life? Absolutely not. Maybe if they were born with certain abilities, they might not be where they are today. So it is for you to understand there is nothing that you have that you did not receive. And that gives you a posture that if there is nothing that I have that I did not receive, how can I steward these resources that I have? So that at the end of life, when I am face to face with my maker, I can give a good account of my stewardship. That is what really keeps you humble. It is not comparing yourself with other people. It is not trying to be like another person. It is not trying to do what someone else is doing. It is not just, following the crowd to do whatever everybody is doing. It is you discovering your unique calling, your unique gift, your unique ability. And as you discover this uniqueness, as you discover this grace, as you discover this calling of God upon your life, and you are now faithful to say, God, this is what you have called me to do. I'm going to be faithful to it. This is what resources and giftings and talent you have given me to be able to actualize this purpose, to actualize this goal you have given me. I'm going to be faithful to it. That posture keeps you humble. That posture keeps you willing to work with other people because you know that ultimately it is God's glory you're seeking, not your own glory. That posture keeps you humble to say, where are service opportunities around me? How can I serve? How can I make someone's life better? Someone says, only remembered by what you have done. You are only going to be remembered by those kind service. That heartfelt service you've rendered for other people, even when you had nothing to gain in return other than God's credit and God's approval. And that keeps you humble. It means that regardless of people's praise of you, you are always in this consciousness that if God isn't happy with all I've done, it's a waste of activity. And that keeps you that keeps you humble. That keeps you in this heart posture of reverence to God. That keeps you in this heart posture of it is not about the things I've acquired. Remember the story of that rich fool? He had money, he had wealth amassed, but Jesus said, today your life will be taken away from you. Who will all those things you have amassed? Who will it be for? Many people think today they will do anything. We are in a world of dog eat dog, fierce competition. Everybody, I want to be a go-getter, achieve this dream. I don't care who I match on just to get to the goal. That will not be a posture of a person who understands this. Because at the end of the day, you fight, you win that battle, you become the CEO, but lost friendship, lost relationship, lost marriage, and the worst of all, lost eternity. Who will it profit? Or you get the credibility of everyone calling you the meekest man on the earth, calling you a very humble person, a philanthropist. But God, who sees the heart, knows that your heart is as proud as a fox. Don't let other people's gifts and talents dim your own lights, dim your own gifts and talents. God wants you to be faithful to that which He has called you to. And I hope that you'll be able to take this encouragement and truly start having a heart of service, a heart of reverence to God, a heart that pleases God sincerely and genuinely, even when you are misunderstood, even when others call you different names, and a heart who doesn't stay comparing himself with others, but in appreciation of the gift and grace of God over his life. I hope this has encouraged you. If you've gotten any value from this video, kindly subscribe to TK Prudent channel, where you will get empowered in your faith, in your family, and in your finances. God bless you.